President Trump has attacked you frequently. He's called you a monster. He said you're nasty and it would be an insult to our country if you became the first female president. Do you see this as just the rough and tumble of politics, or do you view those attacks against you as racist?
Well, this is not the first time in my life I've been called names. And it was predictable, sadly.
Do you think the president is racist?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. You can look at a pattern that goes back to him questioning the identity of the first black president of the United States. You can look at Charlottesville, when there were peaceful protesters, and on the other side, neo-Nazis, and he talks about fine people on either side, calling Mexicans rapists and criminals. His first order of business was to institute a Muslim ban. It all speaks for itself.
That resurfaced 60 Minutes interview and a couple of other clips that are resurfacing online that we're going to get to later in this video are exactly why Donald Trump is freaking out, melting down on Truth Social right now. He is so incredibly scared to debate, to run against, and to ultimately lose to Kamala Harris that he is just losing it right now, and it is hilarious to see. And we're going to get into that in just a second, but before we do, make sure that you hit the subscribe button if you are already not subscribed to this channel. We are new, but we are growing so fast, and it is just an incredible movement that we're putting together. It's so amazing to see. But like I was saying, Kamala Harris is not afraid to speak the truth, and Donald Trump is terrified because he doesn't even really understand what the concept of truth is. And he's especially terrified with all these videos of incredible Kamala Harris takedowns of Trump and his stooges in the MAGA movement resurfacing online. And he knows what's coming. He's seen her make the case against him and knows it is a winning message and knows that Kamala Harris will defeat him. But like I said, so many clips resurfacing, and I want to take a look at one of my favorites of any politician of all time. Let's check it out.
Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm happy to answer a more specific question, but
Male versus female.
there are medical procedures.
Okay. That the government has the power to make a decision about a man's body?
I thought you were asking about medical procedures that are unique to men.
I'll repeat the question. Can you think of any laws that give the government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now, Senator.
We've all seen it before, and it's resurfacing because it is so incredible. But Kamala Harris grilling Brett Kavanaugh shows a couple of things about her. One, she is able to prosecute a case. She is able to make a clear and incredible argument against someone who has no response, and Donald Trump will have no response, but it also shows her strength on the winning issue of reproductive freedom. We know that abortion rights and women's reproductive rights are some of the most important issues at stake in this election, and there is no one better to talk about those issues and talk about the work that they've done to fight for those rights than Vice President Kamala Harris. And not only that, it shows her ability to prosecute the case against this corrupt Supreme Court that we have, with justices like Brett Kavanaugh or Clarence Thomas or Samuel Alito, who Kamala Harris can call out for their action on abortion, their action overturning Roe v. Wade, and she can prosecute the case for Supreme Court reform, expanding the court, term limits on Supreme Court justices, all things that scare Donald Trump because they are incredibly popular. And that is not the only Trump appointee, Trump stooge that Kamala Harris called out. Let's check out this next clip.
Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone?
I wouldn't.
Yes or no?
Could you repeat that question?
I will repeat it.
Yeah.
Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone? Yes or no, please, sir?
The president or anybody else?
Seems you would remember something like that and be able to tell us.
Yeah, but I'm trying to grapple with the word suggest. I mean, there have been discussions of matters out there that They have not asked me to open an investigation, but
Perhaps they've suggested,
I don't know. I wouldn't say suggest.
hinted,
I don't know.
inferred? You don't know.
Yes, Kamala can hold Donald Trump, not just Trump, but Trump and his stooges accountable for their abuse of power while in the White House. And Kamala Harris can make that case that Trump in Project 2025 will be doing the same, but worse if he is elected. And we will not allow that to happen. And Kamala Harris will not allow that to happen. But she can talk about the abuses of power in the White House that happened during Donald Trump's first term and why he should not have a second, why he can't have a second term, because those abuses of power will be much worse, weaponizing the Department of Justice, going after his political opponents. She will not let it happen because she's going to make the case. And this ad that I've showed on this show, but I want to show it again because it is just so incredible, really makes the case of why Kamala Harris will be so incredible, putting herself up against Donald Trump, saying, hey, this is him, I'm the anti-Trump. Let's check it out.
Sick of this? Well, think about this. He's a world leader in temper tantrums. She never loses her cool. She prosecuted sex predators. He is one.
Grab him by the...
She shut down for-profit colleges that swindled Americans. He was a for-profit college.
At Trump University, we teach success.
Literally. He's owned by the big banks. She's the attorney general who beat the biggest banks in America and forced them to pay homeowners $18 billion. He's tearing us apart. She'll bring us together. This is Trump. And in every possible way, this is the anti-Trump. So if that's what you're looking for in your next president, there's really only one. Kamala.
The anti-Trump is a perfect message, and I think it's going to really resonate with voters in a real way. While 2020, President Biden was such an incredible candidate to go up against Donald Trump and had such a great vision for the future of America and obviously enacted that vision in a historic way, that election, and it still seems like this election, of course, the most important thing is that we defeat Donald Trump. We make the case against Donald Trump. While we have an incredible and historic candidate in Kamala Harris, the number one argument that she'll be making is about protecting our democracy, preserving our democracy, stopping Donald Trump from attacking it. This election will be a referendum on him, not Vice President Kamala Harris. It'll be a referendum on him. She'll be making the case against him. And so for her to be the anti-Trump, for her to be the prosecutor while he's the convicted felon, for her to be the successful vice president while he was a failure as president, for her to be someone who has a career in public service and him to be someone who has abused his office and only cares about himself, for her to be a truth teller, for him to be a pathological liar, she is in every way the anti-Trump. She's the anti-Trump. And she is going to be the one to defeat Donald Trump. And I am so excited for us to unify around Kamala Harris. And if you are so excited as well, if you are excited to become a part of that movement, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, you hit the thumbs up, drop a like on this video. It really helps what we're building here. And this is a new channel, but we are growing so fast. As always, make sure you drop a blue heart in the comments so I can thank you for your support. It's the easiest way for me to find your comment and thank you. Personally, thank you, because your support means so much to me. And I am so excited about what we are growing here. And I am so excited to see Kamala Harris, the anti-Trump, defeat Donald Trump. And until next time, I'll see you soon.